Hey Royals, this is Mademoiselle Mosley again. I hope everybody is doing fine tonight. I said I was going to try to give y'all one a day, but sometimes I'll do five, six. It depends on what, the great I am lays on my mind. And tonight I'm going to do a little mix, a remix, and a mix of things that I want to share with you all. Let me get with it. If we are constantly numbing our pain, we don't truly heal. No. If we're constantly numbing our pain, we don't truly heal. That's why when we stop using the numbing agent, all the feelings come back. When we stop drinking, when we stop smoking, when we stop over-sexing and going in and out relationships really quick, really fast, instead of allowing us to process what we've already been through, we get in another one and another one. So after we get off the numbing agents that I just named, and there could be more, then you start to heal. You start feeling all that pain that we don't want to feel, that we need to feel so that we can heal. And when I say that the numbing agent that we use, that we need to heal, the reason why we need to heal, that means that if we don't heal, we keep reliving. That's why we keep renumbing. We keep reliving it and we keep renumbing it and we never get past it. We never heal. So, we have to become, no, yeah. So we become what the word they use called addict. We're addicted to not feeling. So the addiction, which could be in a multiplicity of things, becomes the point where we numb ourselves so that we can't heal ourselves and so we can't feel ourselves. So the reason why we become addicts because we keep doing it over and over and over again, the same behavior and not getting any results. When you're addicted, you get this, you have the same behavior, but you don't get any results. You keep smoking, but you don't get past the you don't get to the results of healing because you keep numbing. So an addict, we do the same thing and we don't receive any healing. We do the same thing and we don't get any results. We just addicted to not feeling. We want to be numb. And being numb means you don't feel. And if you don't feel, you don't heal. Okay? Let's get on with this thing. Well, and then another reason, if you think about being an addict, if anybody, you could be a food addict, a drug addict, alcohol, whatever. Excuse me. A relationship addict. An addict to me just means that you refuse to subtract it. You become an addict because you refuse to subtract it. Take it away. And the only reason to take it away is you have to deal with it. That's the only way to subtract and not be an addict, is to deal with it and be real with it. That's why when they go to Alcoholic Anonymous or any drug program, some people go to places for sex addicts. You have to know the root of why you're doing what you're doing, or who did what they did, what happened when it happened. Because think about this: when something happens to a child that has not had any experience and they have a traumatic experience, it kind of stagnates them at that point in that age. Even in the mindset of the deciphering, even in the mindset of dealing with the emotional pain of it. They don't know how, because when it happened, they happened at a point where they didn't even really understand emotion. So how do you deal with something that you don't understand? So it stagnates you at whatever age. That's why you meet a man or a woman at 40 years old and they're acting like a 12-year-old, because they have not yet become, what do I say, emotionally mature, because they're still stuck at the traumatic aspect of what happened. So they, until they deal with what happened, they cannot mature. Because a lot of things happened to us when we were pure. And when you pure, you don't have the cure. So when you don't have the cure or know that it is a cure, you become an addict. See, what you do is you how can I say, you get a hit because you ain't deal with it. You go get that hit or whatever, you know, and you feel better. But tomorrow, the same thing that happened that you didn't deal with the other day comes back your way. I want to talk about something else too, and I'm gonna incorporate it with this. And I realized something. Once you mature emotionally, you'll realize things on a different level, because you'll see past what you see. I'm gonna put it like this: many may excite your sight, but you want to wait for the one that ignites your soul. You know, I see good looking men all the time, you know, and I look and I'm like, oh yes. But it doesn't do anything for the inner me. I see something on the outer me that excites my sight, but it does not ignite my soul. And I think that's what we're missing. We're seeing something that makes us excited in our through our sight, you know, with what we see, but it does not ignite our soul. Like, you have that connection, that yearning. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's okay. You will keep being here with me, and we'll keep on talking about it until we come to the point where you know about it. So, like I said, but you want to wait for the one that ignites your soul. See, I'm going to say this: beauty fades. The outside of all of us is going to fade. It's not then you're not going to still be beautiful, but beauty fades. But true character remains. See, if you get with somebody that's beautiful, that's fine. That's great. And beauty is not the same to everybody. Every time, well, why do you like him? He is ugly. He is ugly to you, but not to me, because it's not just my sight that he excites. It's the soul of me that he ignites. It's different. So all that other stuff don't fade. But anyway, you want to be attracted to the person you with, but that's just not all that you need. The physical attraction, that stuff don't last long anyway after you get, and then especially if they got a nasty attitude and no gratitude. Anyway, let me go on. So, like I said, beauty fades, but the true character remains. See, we have suffered being around people that are full of suffrage. You know, when people suffer, you know, someone wants you to suffer too. And you ain't even did nothing. You might not even be old enough to even understand what suffer is. But we suffer around people who have a lot of suffrage, because that's all they know. And see, that's what I'm saying about being emotionally mature. Anyway, let's get to this thing so we can finish. So, and you know, being around people of suffrage, or wanted you to suffer out of what they've suffered. They want you to suffer because they suffer. That's what they want. But I'm going to say this. But I will not, listen at this though. This is what People that suffered. I've been around a lot of people that have suffered. I have been there for them, talked to them, walked with them, all that I could do for them. But when it comes down to it, you're gonna have to do it for yourself. But let me read it. So, but I will not fight anyone's battles. I'll be there for you, but I'm not gonna fight anyone's battles. But I will have your back. I will have your back as you move forward. I'm not gonna get in front of you and be fighting people and fighting the battle, in the way and saving you from all of the things that you need to go through so you can get to the level of maturation you need to get to. But I got your back as you move forward. I'm gonna be right there behind you as you move forward because the movements need to be yours, not mine. The proof of the battle is not, how I fight. Is how you're willing to fight the good fight. I will not fight anyone's battles, but I will have your back as you move forward. For within yourself is the true battle. Because most of the battles that we're fighting is within ourselves. It's not out there, it's in here. It's within ourselves, the true battle. So what's happening on the outside is to address what's on the inside. Because if you don't know who you are, you're going to draw a lot of strangers. If you don't know who you are. See, if you know who you are, if you draw something that is not of you, you're going to throw it back. Because you're going to be like, no, I'm not finna do all of that. That's not me. But if you don't know you, you're going to draw all kind of people outside of you because you don't know you. So, like I said, so what's happening on the outside is to address what's on the inside. And God will deliver you from them all, whether your battles be great or small. He will deliver you from them all. But you have to go to him and ask him, what is it I need to do to get to the point where I need to be? So that I can understand what is needed and what is asked of me to get to my destiny. Blaming other people or wallowing in the mud is not going to get you there. You have to grow. You have to mature. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer, a 5-year-old child anymore. You're a grown woman or a grown man, and you need to act as such. You need to just throw all that stuff. It makes you feel so much better. It makes you so much better. So I hope that helped you all. I say to you that being that I'm here on this platform, I have your back as you're moving forward to fight the good fight, to fight the battle, to save you from all that you have gone through. But I will not stand in the front line and fight your battles while you hang back and I'm losing at mine because you won't stand up to what you need to stand up to so that you can get to the part where you need to be. I got your back as you move forward. We all have to do it ourselves. We all have to take the steps. We all have to come to the realization what it is that is holding us back. And 9 times out of 10, it's us. We're not willing to lose some things, You have to lose some things to gain some things. I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to go. I remember one time, years back, in my growing in my spiritual growth, the Lord had told me something. The great I am said, Annette, quit this job. I was like, do what? He said, quit this job. I was like, but I got bills to pay. I don't have time now. I got children and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And he said, quit this job. I didn't quit. So I was riding to work one day and he said this. He said, Annette, you got to understand this. To win is to lose. And to lose is to gain. No, I said that wrong. Let me revert. Let me retract that. He said, to lose is to gain, and to gain is to lose. Because only way you can stand in a position to lose is if you gain. And the only way you can stand in a position to gain is if you lose. I said, wait a minute. And what he was saying was, if you don't quit this job, I'm going to make you lose the job because I have something else for you to gain. But if you stay where you at, I can't get you to where I want you to be. So when you lose some stuff, y'all, don't worry about that. Because like I tell y'all too all the time, when we go from this side to the next side, we ain't taking none of this stuff. None of them houses, them cars, the stuff that make you feel so important and make you feel like you established something. We ain't taking nothing. When you look at them caskets, they ain't got no house in there. They ain't got no car in there. They ain't got no money in there. They ain't got no. Some people put their jewelry on, but you don't know if they take it off when they leave. When you leave the funeral. I'm just saying, what's really important is us. How we love each other. How we're there for each other. How we truly care for. Who cares what somebody thinks? Because some people don't think much. So I hope that helped y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, get it before it gets you. I'm out.